you can't, doubt the Rams. I mean, they're still defending champs. I mean, they don't have Von Miller, but again, they still have the team. They still have that cohesion. So that's a team that I would definitely say that can definitely make the Super Bowl because they still have the same team. It's still early, and they play in a very tough division. So, with the 49ers. So I think that the Rams probably have the best shot to making it to the Super Bowl if they're healthy. I think that, again, if you look at, um, what they have been orchestrating and what McVay has been doing, they still haven't been using all of their receivers. They still
Yeah.
have some guys come back. So I think that with that team, what they have now, even though they're 3-3, I think that they find a way to, make a playoff run. But as a 49er fan, I don't want that. I don't want to see that happen. But since I'm on your show, I'm going to be a realist and say the team that's most likely out of those teams is probably going to be the Rams.
Wow, I 100% disagree with you, Marquette. I don't believe in the
Okay.
Rams right now, bro, because I look at the Rams, they're a one-dimensional football team. They
Uh-huh.
literally have no running game to speak of whatsoever. They only rely on Cooper Kupp in the passing game. I'm still trying to figure out why they even brought in Allen Robinson. I don't understand why they signed Allen Robinson in free agency because they only look for Cooper Kupp in passing situations. And I know how great Cooper Kupp is. He's a top 5 receiver in the NFL, but you got to expand your offense and get these other receivers the football because you start to become predictable, and that's my biggest issue right now with the Rams. They're one dimensional. Like I said, I think Cam Akers, it's a possibility he may be on his way out of LA. I'm disappointed in Cam Akers because I had him on my fantasy team. He ain't done much for me this year. I don't really believe in the Rams right now. Maybe something could change as the season goes along. You know how disgusted I am right now with my Packers. Man, like I'm so upset with the Packers right now. But the Buccaneers was my choice. I said that the Buccaneers with Tom Brady and the weapons that they have offensively with Mike Evans, with Chris Godwin, with Julio Jones, and then in the
Huh.
backfield you got Leonard Fournette. That was my selection to be the team of those 4 teams that could go on a Super Bowl run.
I mean, those teams again. When you look at the teams from top to bottom, you got to think about the Packers. I mean, what they're doing, they are all over the place. You already know that. When you look at the 49ers, again, there's one of again. I love my team, but there's one of them teams. How healthy can they stay? Healthy? I mean, come on, people put them in the Super Bowl contention. Then you look at the Buccaneers. Julio Jones is not staying healthy. You have Godwin. Gotta hope he's healthy. Mike Evans. I think he's one of the top receivers in the league. But again, how healthy can he be? This team is all over the place. They have not been gelling right.
Yeah,
So when you're looking at the team that can do something, it's still the Rams. They still have the same team minus Von Miller and minus Odell. With that being said, they're gonna find a way to get Robinson. They're gonna find a way to make sure that the other receivers get to where they need to be. One thing about McVay, man, he knows how to drop some offense. He knows how to do that. So I think that once they take that bye week, come back, see what's needed. I think that you'll see a different team when it comes to that Rams team. It won't be my Niners, but they will be a scary team in the NFC.
yeah, they actually got a bye week this week. The Rams do. They a much needed bye, so
Yes, they do.
they got a bye this week. But see, this is another thing, Marquette. Before I let you go, right now the Eagles are 6-0, and they are the number 1 team right now, not
Uh-huh.
only in the NFC but in the NFL overall.
Yep.
And everyone's talking about Jalen Hurts. He's an MVP candidate. Nick Sirianni's done a great job as head coach. For me, though, Marquette, these 4 teams, that's 3-3 that we're talking about, like the Niners, Packers, Rams, Bucks, these 4 teams, I'm not going to give up on yet. Like I know everybody counting out my Packers already. Listen, the Packers, we're a winning organization. We've been to back-to-back NFC championship games, over the last few years. We over the last 3 years, they 39-10 in the regular season. So I believe that one of these 4 teams for sure could possibly knock off the Eagles in the playoffs. I'm not going to count out the Packers, Rams, Niners, or the Bucks. Everybody talking about the Eagles though, Marquette, but I ain't counting out none of these 4 teams, even though they 3-3. Like I'm not counting them out.
Toughest game on the Eagles schedule is probably the Green Bay Packers. Again, because of Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
And then you talk about the Giants. You talk about Cowboys. I mean, again, where are those teams going to be when the second half of the season transition? So looking at their schedule, 1, 2, 3, 4, they got 4 wins coming up on paper, and then the season gets a little shaky.